to hear from you, Christine. You've worked with gender-based violence survivors. You have worked with women and girls within spaces of the education. Tell us about the trauma, because Vanessa has shared a very, she's a survivor, and we commend her for coming up to tell us what she's gone through. But I can imagine her being the same person who speaks against something that is practiced in her community. Could you maybe share with us about the psychosocial support and the trauma these girls go through? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, everyone. To get into the trauma part of it, Vanessa, thank you so much. That was very brave of you. And I hope you have received counseling and debriefing to be able to go through the traumatic experience that you went through at a very tender age. For any girl or for any person, for any girl or woman who goes through FGM, it is a permanent traumatic feeling that they remain with. And we all look at it from the positive part of it. Positive to say that the cat has gone on successfully. There is no hemorrhage, there is no death, there is nothing. But there is that error process of FGM where probably something goes wrong and the nerve of the hip or the nerve on the thigh is touched. And that woman remains with a permanent limited mobility. And that is a stigma that one cannot run away. You are given a walking style that you were not born with. You walk in a manner that it's not disability, but it is a way of you walking. Let me say it's a form of disability caused by that FGM, where everywhere you go, you have to explain, I got this form of disability because it was an error process of FGM. That is a permanent stigma that a woman goes through. And I want to go back to Stephanie when she said a 30-year-old woman, she was not forced to go through FGM. And Josephine put it very right. They have no choice. It's a decision not made by you, but by somebody else, and you are forced to get into it. I can imagine that 30-year-old woman, she took herself for FGM, not because she wanted or because she could resist, but because of the pressure that she was going through and finding herself to be isolated in all ways. Whether in the village, in the home, in church, everyone is pointing a finger at you. It's like all of us having clothes and one comes in naked. What do? Do you continue being naked or you go back and put on the clothes? You go back and put on the clothes so that you can fit with the others. The trauma is permanent, and the psychosocial disturbance from the negative memory that one has gone through that causes painful memories is quite gigantic in a woman's life, where it can even lead to not enjoying sex, having painful sex experiences, and can also affect your relationship with your husband. FGM is not something that I can wish even to my worst enemy. It is something that we need to stop and come to an end. Just like DNG has said, we all need to go to the ground, because speaking here is very good, but things are different on the ground. We need to get into those murky waters so that we can talk to those village elders and the women who are encouraging the girls and find alternative ways of doing this, of initiating a girl into a womanhood. Thank you. Maybe that's what I'll say.